Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're uncovering some mind-blowing and lesser-known historical facts that you probably haven't heard about. These are the hidden gems of history that will surprise and fascinate you. So let's dive into 10 unique history facts no one knows about. Our journey into the obscure corners of history begins with one of the most celebrated military commanders of all time, Alexander the Great. But what if I told you that this legendary figure might have suffered a fate more terrifying than any battlefield? Modern scientists suggest Alexander the Great might have been buried alive. Historical accounts tell us that Alexander succumbed to a mysterious illness, his body racked with fever and paralysis. Some medical experts believe this affliction could have been Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare autoimmune disorder that can induce paralysis while leaving the mind acutely aware. Imagine the horror. Alexander, trapped inside his own body, fully conscious yet utterly helpless as he was declared dead and prepared for burial. We journey now to the sun-drenched heart of the Roman Empire, to the deafening roar of the Colosseum. Here in this arena of blood and sand, gladiators fought for glory, for survival, for the fleeting entertainment of the masses. But the Colosseum held a secret: the gladiatrices, the female gladiators of Rome. These women were warriors, just as fierce, just as skilled, and just as deadly as their male counterparts. The gladiatrices challenged the very notion of what it meant to be a warrior in a society dominated by men. Our quest for unusual historical figures now takes us to the vast expanse of the South China Sea, where a different kind of power ruled the waves. The title of the most successful pirate in history belongs to a woman of unparalleled audacity and ambition, Qing Shi. Born into poverty and sold into prostitution, Qing Shi's life took an extraordinary turn when she married Zheng Yi, a notorious pirate captain. Upon his death, she seized control of his fleet, uniting a ragtag band of outlaws into a formidable maritime force. Under her command, over 1,500 ships and 80,000 sailors roamed the South China Sea, striking fear into the hearts of merchants and officials alike. We turn our attention now to the world stage, to the spectacle of athleticism and national pride that is the Olympic Games. From 1912 to 1948, alongside the familiar athletic competitions, medals were awarded in categories such as literature, architecture, sculpture, painting, and music. The founder of the modern Olympics, Pierre de Coubertin, envisioned a revival of the ancient Greek ideal of a balanced development of body and mind. He believed that true excellence encompassed both physical and creative prowess, and sought to reflect this philosophy in the Games. Though the art competitions were eventually discontinued, they remain a fascinating footnote in Olympic history. Our exploration of history's lighter side takes us now to the court of one of the most iconic figures in European history, Napoleon Bonaparte. In 1807, at the height of his power, Napoleon organized a rabbit hunt for himself and his men. However, someone had forgotten to tell the rabbits. Instead of scattering in terror, the rabbits, domesticated and accustomed to humans, charged straight towards Napoleon and his entourage. Imagine the scene: hundreds, perhaps thousands of bunnies, their little noses twitching, hopping relentlessly towards the emperor and his bewildered men. We journey now to the ancient land of Egypt, to the era of pharaohs and pyramids, where a queen of legendary beauty and political acumen held sway. Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom, has captivated imaginations for centuries. But behind the familiar image of the Egyptian queen lies a surprising truth. Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian. She was, in fact, of Greek descent, a descendant of Ptolemy the Soter, one of Alexander the Great's generals. Cleopatra, though born in Egypt, was raised in the Greek tradition, spoke Greek as her native language, and saw herself as the heir to the Ptolemaic legacy. Her story becomes a complex drama of cultural identity, political maneuvering, and ultimately, the tragic fall of a dynasty. Our exploration of history's culinary curiosities takes us now to a time when ketchup, that ubiquitous condiment, graced our tables not as a flavorful accompaniment to fries and burgers, but as a sought-after medicinal marvel. Yes, you heard that right. Ketchup in the 19th century was marketed as a cure for a wide range of ailments. Enter Dr. John Cook Bennett, a physician who in the 1830s added tomatoes to the mix, creating the ketchup we know and love today. He believed that tomatoes possessed potent medicinal properties and began touting his tomato-based ketchup as a cure for indigestion, diarrhea, jaundice, and even rheumatism. While ketchup's medicinal claims were eventually debunked, this period stands as a testament to our enduring fascination with finding miracle cures in the most unexpected places. We turn our attention now to one of the most revered figures in American history, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. But behind the somber visage of the great emancipator lay a surprising athletic past. Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler. Standing at a towering 6'4", Lincoln possessed a physical presence that commanded attention. In his youth, Lincoln participated in nearly 300 wrestling matches, losing only one. This little-known aspect of Lincoln's life adds another layer to our understanding of this complex and fascinating figure. Our journey into the annals of unusual legal proceedings takes us to Salem, New Jersey in the year 1820. In the early 19th century, tomatoes were viewed with suspicion and fear by many Americans. Enter Colonel Robert Gibbon Johnson, a man of science and a firm believer in the power of demonstration. Determined to debunk the myths surrounding the tomato, Colonel Johnson devised a daring plan. In front of a crowd of anxious onlookers, he stood on the steps of the Salem courthouse and proceeded to eat an entire basket of tomatoes. His tomato-eating stunt became a legendary tale that helped change public perception and pave the way for the tomato's eventual acceptance as a culinary staple. Our final stop on this journey through history's surprising twists takes us to the prestigious halls of the Nobel Prize Committee. The Nobel Peace Prize, in particular, holds a special place in the world's conscience, honoring those who have dedicated their lives to promoting peace and understanding. But the history of the Nobel Peace Prize is not without its controversies, and perhaps the most surprising of these is the fact that Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, and Joseph Stalin, three of the 20th century's most notorious dictators, were all nominated for the award. Hitler's nomination, for example, came in 1939, just before the outbreak of World War II. It was a satirical nomination by a Swedish politician intended to protest Hitler's growing aggression. These nominations sparked outrage and debate, highlighting the complexities and often contradictory nature of the Nobel Peace Prize selection process. And there you have it, folks. 10 unique history facts no one knows about. If you found this video fascinating, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Leave a comment below with which fact surprised you the most and what other topics you'd like us to cover. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.